Coming up on NTC News, the early bird gets to vote. We'll see who's heading to the polls today. And grab your passports, a look at what waits for students interested in studying abroad. And the latest on a commuter nightmare in New Jersey that left nearly 100 people injured. NTC News Tonight starts now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Hello, I'm Nicole Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Eric Martin. It's Thursday, September 29th. Some people can't wait until November to decide who they want in the White House and in other elected offices.
Ashley Morse went to the Legislative Center in Sycamore to see how early voting is going today.
Thanks, Nicole. Surprisingly, the Legislative Center was fairly busy today. Voting opened at 8:30 in the morning and ends at 4:30 in the afternoon. Several people came out on the first day to vote. Early voting at the Legislative Center ends on October 23rd. Voters who came early encourage others to do their part to have their voices count.
I think it's important for everyone to vote, and the earlier the better.
It states that one of our privileges that we can vote. And it's important because then we can kind of decide who we want to vote for and why. And then if there's so many people say, well, they have a complaint about somebody, and we say, well, did you vote? They say no. Well, then why complain?
I believe it is important to vote because if you don't vote, don't complain. I mean, your vote really does count. I know people say, oh, it doesn't count, but it does count.
Early voting opens on campus next month.
An NIU professor may take over as superintendent of DeKalb School District 428. NIU business management professor Bradley Hawk is one of two candidates up for the job. The current superintendent, Dr. Doug Moeller, is on paid leave after the school's principal obtained a restraining order against him. Michelle Obano alleges that Moeller sexually harassed her after she turned down his advances. Hawk is a former superintendent of Burlington Central School District.
A large crowd gathered at Home Student Center last week for a town hall led by NIU President Doug Baker. Baker addressed issues with NIU's enrollment and financial situation. Enrollment slipped almost 6% this year, and NIU officials blame state lawmakers. They say the inability to pass a budget has hampered the school's ability to attract new students. Baker also says the university might be looking to reduce spending by $20 million.
Students interested in having the world be their classroom had a chance to learn more about NIU's Study Abroad program. Nearly 150 people showed up at the Duke Ellington Ballroom this morning to speak with administrators. There are 300 programs in 80 countries available to students. One student says it was a life-changing experience.
It was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. I experienced so many different new things, and I learned a lot, especially from being outside of the U.S. I have a different standpoint or view on the world than someone who's never studied or traveled abroad before.
The event ends at 3 p.m. today, but if you want more information, contact the Study Abroad office in Williston Hall.
The Student Center may be getting a makeover. The Illinois Board of Higher Education approved the school's request for funds to renovate the first floor of the Home Student Center. The project is estimated to cost $20 million. Officials say the goal of the renovation is to give students a reason to stay on campus on the weekends.
It's a crisp and clear day today.
Let's take a quick look at the weather with Emery Danans.
It's very windy out here today. As you can see, my hair is blowing around a little bit. Those gusts are going to be reaching about 30 miles per hour this afternoon. Now today's high temperatures will reach near 67 degrees. Then tonight will drop down to about 56. We do expect to see some rain this evening and into tomorrow. So if you want to hear when that sunshine will be out again, stay with us.
Coming up next on NTC News. A train derails in New Jersey, injuring more than 100. We'll have the latest.
And a look at how some folks are pitching in to clean up the Kishwaukee River.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving,
Here's what's happening in today's World Watch. One person is dead and over 100 others are injured after a train crash in Hoboken, New Jersey. Rail service in the Hoboken area is currently suspended, leaving commuters to Manhattan with few options. The transit train plowed into a major train station, severely damaging a terminal. The train ran over the bumper block and the front of the train went past the tracks. The impact was so severe that the first car of the train went airborne, leaving passengers trapped.
The hardest part that hurts me is when I went to run in, I ended up stepping over a dead woman's body. That bothered me. You know, I backed up and looked and said, what the? And nothing you can do for her.
At least 17 people have been taken to local hospitals with serious injuries. Both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have given statements about the train crash in New Jersey today. Clinton says she found the images horrifying, while Trump says that the country's failing infrastructure was to blame for the accident. He also tweeted that he was the only one who could fix the problem.
The presidential debate still has some people talking,
including Sada Kendor, who has more in this week's Political Pit Stop.
Thank you. Now here's a quick recap of this week in politics. The candidates are back on the campaign trail after Monday's first presidential debate. Among the topics discussed, the economy, gun violence, and Iraq. Inger Lester Holt from NBC moderated the hour-and-a-half event that took place in New York. One of the more heated moments came up with the topic of releasing tax returns.
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release.
Hillary Clinton responded to the email controversy that Trump brought up.
I made a mistake using a private email.
That's for sure.
And if I had to do it over again, I would obviously do it differently.
Another controversial back and forth came up with the topic of gun violence. Trump suggested implementing a policy that Clinton says was unconstitutional.
Now, whether or not in a place like Chicago you do stop and frisk, which worked very well, Mayor Giuliani is here, it worked very well in New York, it brought the crime rate way down.
Everyone should be respected by the law, and everyone should respect the law. Right now, that's not the case in a lot of our neighborhoods. So I have, ever since the first day of my campaign, called for criminal justice reform.
As far as the invasion in Iraq and whether Trump was for it or against it, it was a he said, she said moment.
Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
At the end, both candidates said they would accept the outcome of the November elections and support the winner. After facing allegations of holding private meetings with Russian officials, Trump's foreign advisor is stepping down. The advisor, Carter Page, is reportedly taking a leave of absence due to the distraction of these allegations. In response to this news, the Trump campaign has been attempting to distance itself from Page. A conservative newspaper broke a trend and is endorsing Hillary Clinton. The Arizona Republic has never endorsed a Democratic candidate for president until this year. The paper says it is supporting Clinton because of her foreign policy experience. Keep in mind, the deadline to register to vote in the November election is October 11th. Thanks for pulling over for this week's Political Pit Stop. I'm Sada Kendor. See you next week.
Sycamore's Park District Board voted to divide the sale of $10 million in bonds into two segments. The bond sales are intended to pay for the Park District's 2020 plan and other operating expenses. The executive director of the Park District says splitting up the bond sales would save money on interest. This would allow them to focus on other expenses. A DeKalb County Forest Preserve is looking to have a new addition this fall. The 60-acre Sycamore Forest Preserve will soon have some improvements. The park will include hiking and cross-country trails, a fishing pond, and picnic areas. The new Sycamore Forest Preserve is located on the site of the former Evergreen Mobile Home Park on Route 64.
You might have noticed a cleaner Kishwaukee River here in DeKalb. Katie Brost has more on the story.
On Saturday, DeKalb citizens joined together to clean the Kishwaukee River in Lions Park. The cleanup was part of National Public Lands Day to help remove trash and debris from the park and river. The Kishwaukee River provides recreational use for local residents, like canoeing and fishing. It is also home to 28 endangered, threatened, or watch-listed species. A variety of community members came to help, from a Boy Scout troop to families and NIU students. Everyone was happy to make the area a better place.
Yep, just here to help.
Yeah.
Do our part.
Yeah. Help the community, you know. Help the little animals, right? Don't you want to help the animals?
Safe and clean.
Yeah. It makes you more proud of where you're living, your community.
Definitely.
Yeah. And, you know, if we come to the river, you know, we don't want glass around. They could step on things like that. And the kids, too, you know, we like to play in nature and enjoy the community.
NIU's Pre-Professional Association participated for their monthly service event.
Kids and people with pets can walk through this area with a sense of peace, knowing that there's nothing hazardous that can hurt them. And it means a lot just knowing that I'm helping making the world a cleaner and safer place.
Every participant was willing to get down and dirty and do whatever they could to ensure a cleaner environment. Normal trash items like beer cans and cups were picked up, but an entire bicycle was one of the larger things to be found. Anyone who helped with the cleanup was encouraged to stay after for a cookout and fun games. For NTC News, I'm Katie Brost.
Clean the Kish is an annual event within the DeKalb and Sycamore communities. And now we'll go to Emery Danans for this week's weather forecast.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to see some rain tomorrow and Saturday, but then into next week, it is looking a little clearer. Now, it's been very windy outside today, if you haven't noticed, and high temperatures reached up near 67 degrees. Tonight, we'll be dropping down to a low of about 56, and if you were outside today, you saw those very gloomy skies out there, very windy as well. Those gusts up to 29 miles per hour, so felt pretty breezy out there today. Definitely feeling more like fall, but wish we had the sunshine now. Unfortunately, those clouds are going to stick around. Let's take a look at why. We have this low pressure system that's going to be bringing clouds and rain to our area, and over the next couple of days, it's going to stay pretty stationary. Into Thursday, we notice it doesn't move much, or I'm sorry, into Friday, notice it doesn't move much again. Friday, we'll expect rain throughout the day, lots of clouds. It'll still be pretty breezy as well. Then into Saturday, same thing, rain again, and then it'll taper off as we go into Sunday, and then into next week, we will see some sunshine. So let's take it back to tonight, where we'll see mostly cloudy skies. Then overnight low about 56, still pretty breezy out there, gusting up to 20 miles per hour, so definitely bring a coat with you if you have to go out tonight. And then into Friday, we will likely see rain, high of about 65 degrees. Those gusts are going to be even stronger, about 25 miles per hour. So on days like this where we have lots of rain forecasts, but also very windy, you might want to, instead of bring an umbrella, bring like a raincoat, because you might be fighting with your umbrella otherwise. But as long as you have something and know you could get wet on Friday, that's the important part. And then into Friday night, that rain will start tapering off. We do still have a chance of rain though, and overnight low of about 56, and those winds are starting to finally die down to about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Again, we do have that chance for showers Friday and Saturday, but then the rest of the week looks pretty nice. We do see into next week those skies getting a little bit sunnier and a little bit warmer. So that's all for weather, so let's send it back to the desk.
Now that's officially fall, a great place to visit is Jonamek Apple Orchard. Chef Cook made a stop on the Husky Trail. Let's take a look.
For this stop on the Husky Trail, we're here at Jonamek Apple Orchard for Thank You Farmers Weekend.
Bouncy pillows, pumpkin spice, tons of apples, baby goats, and almost everything nice are just some of the things we saw this past weekend.
The main event here at Jonamek Orchard is the apple and pumpkin picking that they have right behind me. We're going to take a look. Actually really good. Hi. Hi guys, I'm out here with a Jonamek Orchard employee. This is
Bill Frederick.
Bill Frederick, and what's going on today, Bill?
So we're doing a bunch of apple picking today, of course. We're at an apple orchard. We have a couple different varieties out here, tart and sweet.
So how long have you been working here, Bill?
I don't know, about 3 or 4 years. Yeah, I've worked every season out here. I've tended the trees and make sure they grow up.
What's your favorite part about working here, John?
Probably just being outdoors. Yeah, and being able to just see what happens.
Can you tell everyone, thanks for visiting this stop on the Husky Trail.
Thanks for visiting this stop on the Husky Trail.
Jonamek's newest attraction is their cider house, where those crispy homegrown apples are turned into delicious white and red wine. Hanging out or listening to music, there was something for everyone.
Thank you for visiting this stop on the Husky Trail.
The orchard turns into a haunted corn maze this week.
When we come back, we'll hear about a new route for Husky buses. Also, Rocky Horror fans can get a behind-the-scenes look at the Egyptian Theater's production.
Adopted
I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
There is now a weekend shuttle service that connects the NIU campus to the Chicagoland area with just one ride.
The Husky Express is a weekend shuttle service that connects the NIU student body to the Chicagoland area with just one ride.
The primary focus of the Husky Express is to act as a shuttle service for students to and from the Chicagoland area. The Husky Express also acts as a charter bus for events and a party bus rental. The Husky Express has operated successfully every weekend since our launch on September the 2nd. Since we are privately funded, we can't stress enough the importance of student participation.
There is a flat rate of $23 that takes you from where you need to go Friday and bring you back Sunday, making stops at the Student Center, Oak Park, Union Station, 87th and Dan Ryan, and Fox Valley.
My experience with Husky Express has been nothing but great. From last year, my way of transportation back towards the city was really finding a way to the Amber train station and then make my way back. So that includes buying a ticket and also making sure that I'm on time so I won't miss my train. But with Husky Express, it's on campus, it's more convenient, and it's cheaper.
We have a small team of ambassadors, including myself, Kirk Gregory, and Lanisha Smith. We've all kind of been the voice of the Husky Express on campus, from using social media as a platform to physically handing out handbills.
Safe and secure drop-off and pick-up locations for the NIU student body is ensured when using the Husky Express. For NTC News, I am Paris Bizzle.
For more information on getting a ride with the Husky Express, visit huskyexpress.com. Please say to write down phone numbers and notify the police department if scammers who are calling random numbers and asking for personal information. It may include date of birth, social security number, or bank account numbers. Personal information should not be given over the phone. If you receive a suspicious phone call, contact the police immediately.
3 males allegedly stole items from a DeKalb home Tuesday afternoon. The men identified themselves as ABC Tree Service. One suspect asked the owners to follow him outside to show them the trees, while the other 2 suspects burglarized the home. If you have any questions, please contact the DeKalb County Police Department.
With October approaching, it's almost time for DeKalb residents to do the time warp again. NTC reporter Alex Rodriguez has more on the story.
As fall blooms and October approaches, a DeKalb tradition is about to hit the big stage. The Rocky Horror Picture Show has been a staple in DeKalb for years, and audiences of all ages come to see the cult classic in the Egyptian theater with this crazy cast of student performers.
So my favorite part about playing Columbia is the fact that she's so energetic and loud, and I get to scream a lot. And her costume, again, is energetic and loud, like it is full of sequins. So my first actual show with Rocky, I played Magenta. And then soon after that, I actually became the director of the group, and I took on the role of Frank, which was outrageous. And as Magenta, I think I offer a lot of just dull energy, which is a lot of what she is, because apparently she was drunk the entire time she was playing the role in the actual show.
The cast members change roles with every new showing off how wacky, dedicated, and talented these students really are.
All these characters are such different personalities. With Frank, he's very full of himself, and he has his chin held high. It's very fun.
For show director Joshua Chester, it's a bittersweet moment to see his version of the show on stage.
I joined the cast 2 years ago in October, and I became director in March of this year, so things have gotten a little bit harder for me, obviously, going from just a tranny to a bigger role and then eventually up to actually directing everything.
You can see the Rocky Horror Picture Show on Fridays, October 28th and November 18th. I'm Alex Rodriguez, NTC News.
For ticket information, visit EgyptianBoxOfficeTicketSales.com.
And did NIU's men's soccer kick it out of the park?
Farouk Olayawola joins us now with sports.
Got to get my tickets for the show ASAP. Hello, and welcome to NTC Sports. I'm Farouk Olaiwala. NIU football looks to keep the bronze stalk, while men's soccer looks for a second straight win against IUPUI, and our leader of the pack spikes onto the court. The Husky men's soccer team falls short to the IUPUI Jaguars. The Huskies received the opportunity to take the advantage of getting on the board in the first half. Huskies' Luke Reed was able to get his head to the ball, but was unable to direct it towards the goal. Shortly after, Uriel Marcellus would put the Jaguars on the top in the first half. The Huskies goalkeeper, Drew Donnelly, was called to action as he made a diving stop on Marcellus' attempt to score. The Huskies' best chance came during the second half when Albert Levette was at the top of the 6-yard box but was blocked by the Jaguars goalkeeper, Joshua Gray. The Huskies didn't have an answer for Marcellus as he scored for the second time, giving the Jaguars a 2-0 win. The Huskies football team looks to retain the Bronze Stalk Trophy in their first game in MAC play against the rival Ball State Cardinals. Players to watch for on the Ball State offense is the dual threat rushing attack of running backs James Gilbert and Darian Green. On the defense side of the ball, look out for linebacker Zach Ryan, who leads the Cardinals' defense in tackles. Huskies will start Anthony Maddie at quarterback after Ryan Graham's poor performances in the first 2 games. The Huskies will also try to play better defense this week after giving up over 400 yards of total offense against the Leathernecks last Saturday. Let's hope the Huskies can get back on track. Today's leader of the pack is Northern Illinois volleyball's outside hitter Mary Grace Kelly. Reporter TJ Hopkins has more on the 6-foot star.
Mary Grace Kelly is a senior on the women's volleyball team at NIU. Playing at outside hitter, she is one of the key pieces for the team. For Kelly, volleyball is more than a sport. For her, it is a tool.
Basically, an outlet for me. Like, I'm just able to, find a way to be a good teammate, and that's really important to me. And
a part of being a good teammate is communicating. Communication is very important in volleyball.
It's a huge role. We definitely see a drastic change in our communication between games we win and games we lose. There's a front row in volleyball and a back row, so if we can keep both units in communication the whole game, then we have a better chance of being on the same page, executing the game plan and stuff like that.
For Kelly, getting the point on the kill is special because of all the hard work.
Because there's a good pass that got into that play, there was a good set that got to you, a good serve, all that comes together. So as hitters, we have the opportunity to get a gain from all of that hard work that comes into that play.
So far, the team is off to a 10-4 overall start and a 2-0 start in conference play. After losing the first set to Western Michigan, Kelly led the way with 14 kills, sparking the Huskies to win the match 3-1. Coach Ray Gooden had this to say about his spectacular outside hitter.
She's important to our team, not just in that one particular match, but I feel, being a senior, with the amount of experience she's had on our team, with the number of matches she's played in, the number of sets she's played in, she figures in to have a real big hand in what we do in our team's success.
Gooden feels very confident about having a player like Kelly in his back pocket.
I mean, it's nice to have. I think you want your stars to play like stars. And I don't know if she doesn't call herself a star as more an important role on a team. She wants to be a leader. She wants to have a big impact.
All of last season, Kelly had 155 kills, and in 2013, she had a career-high 304. She currently has 155 kills and is on pace to surpass both of these totals, and this is why she is this week's leader of the pack. For NTC News, I'm TJ Hopkins.
NIU volleyball will return to action this weekend to take on Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. Soccer hasn't just made an impact on the field this week, but they have made a huge impact off the field. Richard Hall of men's soccer and Taylor Sarver of women's soccer are nominated for the MAC Scholar Athlete of the Week award. These Huskies exemplify the concept of student athlete by excelling in the classroom and on the field. We congratulate Taylor and Richard on their nominations and hope to hear more of their success moving forward. That is all for NTC Sports. Stay safe and always go Huskies. When we come back, a 5K with puppies, we have the exclusive on a very special event. NTC News will be right back.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection.
A local DeKalb park was barking with joy this weekend as their owners participated in a race to raise money for a good cause.
Reporter Ricardo Segura brings you the story.
Tails Humane Society held its annual Mud Truck 5K Run/Walk this past weekend at Hopkins Park, a community event to raise money for the shelter. The 5K Run/Walk is held every year to help fund the needs of about 300 animals that are at the shelter and in foster homes. Tails Humane Society looks to raise awareness in the DeKalb community for the adoption of dogs at the shelter, as well as encouraging more volunteers.
For anybody to come out and adopt from us, of course. We also have volunteer opportunities as young as 5. We offer dog training, our low-cost spay-neuter clinic, and a variety of other programs. So we've kind of got something for everybody. And Mud Strut today is just a community event. Everybody can just put on a pair of shoes and come out and walk.
Many of the runners/walkers at the Mud Strut love the idea that DeKalb is one of the few places that allows pets in a race. The Mud Strut is an all-around fun event for all ages to support animals who are in need of a home.
I think anything that you can have your dog at is a great way to bring recognition to how many animals need homes. I think that events like this are becoming more and more popular, and I'm really excited to see DeKalb and the community come together.
Many of the participants understand how important it is to support the animals at times, considering some of the animals are lucky to have escaped the past.
And was in a foster care place. She had been shot with BBs. She's got a big scar on one paw from getting stuck in a trap. She's missing a tooth. So it's like she's retired when she came to live with me. So we enjoy these kind of things because her life is very different now from what it was.
There was about 400 people who attended this year's Mud Strut community event. Tails Humane Society looks to see that number grow even more next year with the help of some furry fidos. For NTC News, I'm Ricardo Segura.
Oh my God, those dogs were so cute.
You probably love every animal. Tails Humane Society has opportunities for all age groups to volunteer at the shelter. It could always use a helping hand with the wonderful animals there waiting for your affection.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. We want to thank you all for being with us. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everyone.